welcome back to another episode of Getting Lippy. I'm Emma Conybeare, and this is the home of everything entertainment and showbiz news, brought to you by Slingo. On the show today, we've got Nicola McLean. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. And the journalist. Hello, Benji Potter. How are you?
I'm very well, Emma. Nice to be
First
here.
male on the show. I'm so excited.
I know, I'm feeling the pressure now.
No!
For all of
This
mankind.
is good. I can't wait to get into some of the goss that we have in store on the show today. Join the fun on Slingo. Enjoy a £50 welcome bonus. Play over 3,000 vibrant Slingo games. Age 25 and over. Be gamble aware. For more information, visit begambleware.org. Let's talk to you a little bit about your eventful, exciting past. You've done a lot of things. Celebrity Big Brother, I'm a Celebrity. I mean, you started off being one of the most successful glamour models. What was your best part of your life? Doing the reality, doing the glamour models? Where did it all kind of start and stuff?
I loved being a glamour model. And I think that it's rare to get someone that admits that, because quite a lot of the old girls that were successful all say, oh, we wouldn't do it now I'd still get those bad boys out. I really would. So,
You got it, flaunt it.
I loved it. So I loved being a glam model. I was very good at it.
Yeah.
I didn't do well at school. And I was going to join, I wanted to join the army. I was an army cadet.
Stop.
Yeah. So I was going to join the army. I was a cadet for like 5 years. And then I got scouted to be a glamour model. And I thought, right, what do I do here? Do I earn the money or do I go and shoot people in the army? So I decided to earn the money. And I honestly loved it. I went to the Playboy Mansion. That was like a highlight. But then, of course, I'm a huge reality TV fan. So being able to go, I remember watching the first ever I'm a Celeb. And not I'm a Celeb, I'm a Celeb with my mum. And I wasn't a well-known glamour model then, and I was about 19, and I said to my mum, I'm going to do this one day. She was like, how? Why? No, you can't. You're not a celebrity. I said, oh, I will be. I knew I'd get that show. I knew it.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing for you to go from glamour modelling, but being so successful at that, and then going on to the reality shows as well. Now, going back to just your glamour modelling, if you don't mind just talking a bit about that, it was definitely the most iconic part, like the era, like you had the Katie Prices of the world. And I do feel as though, like, when it came to glamour model, you were a celebrity in your own right, because it was very paper form. I suppose you can understand everything now is very digital, isn't it? But back then it was always the Page 3, the Sun, the Daily Mail and all of that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we were celebs. If we went to clubs, we got packed outside the nightclubs. We got in for free. We got invited to all the best parties. And I become the sort of unofficial spokesperson for Page 3. You know, when they were trying to ban it, I went on to every news channel and spoke about it. So I did shows like The Big Breakfast when I was a Page 3 girl, which, you know, younger audience won't know, but it was an iconic show, wasn't it? I did shows like that, so we were celebrated, and yeah, I just loved it. I honestly did. I mean, there's a few incidents where you can say, yeah, that was a bit tricky, but I'm streetwise. I got myself out of it. It was majority of the time I absolutely loved it. I got to travel the world. I'd never really been abroad, like on holiday as a kid or anything. And then all of a sudden at 17, I was living in Milan, modelling in Milan. It was brilliant. I loved it.
I was just going to say, your height of your career, what was your life like? Just traveling all different places, like photo shoot after photo shoot, you know, going to different glitzy celebrity events and stuff.
So my era was like nightclubs like China One and Embassy. So I would literally be modelling all day and then just be at parties.
Oh my God.
Like, with like, I was in China Wax with Pink one night, like epic. I love Pink. So
but I think back then it was good. Like, I remember going to clubs. This is before like social media was like a massive thing. Like, you might have Instagram, but it wasn't that big. Like, Twitter was the biggest. And you used to go to all those like clubs in London, like Aura, which was in Mayfair. And it was almost like you were as exclusive to go to those. And it was. Now it's not you don't have that same vibe, I don't think.
No, I don't think
they missing out, you Gen Zs.
It's when celebrities had privacy, right?
Yeah.
And the only way you'd read about what would happen in those clubs was
Magazine.
celebrity columns
Yeah.
or magazines.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was almost a happier time, if you don't mind me saying, because it was like folklore, it's like fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's like, how much did Pink spend at China
Yeah.
White?
Yeah.
Hundreds and thousands of pounds.
I suppose that was like, there was, wasn't there columns and like you had journalists like the 3 a.m. girls and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We used to go to those
They were
events.
horrible, the 3 a.m. And
Go on, tell.
I remember, right, they used to like write mean things about me. And then I'd go into the offices and I'd say to them, like, because I'd be working there, and I'd go in and I'd be like, girls, why are you so mean? And they'd be like, oh, she's lovely in real life. I said, what did you think? Stop being mean to me.
Yeah.
Like literally, yeah, that you never wanted to be in those columns. But yeah, we just had a ball, like literally. And yeah, I mean, the best party was definitely when I got invited to Hugh Hefner's 75th birthday party, and I was in the mansion and like stayed in the mansion.
What was it like in
Oh,
there?
it
Like,
was
I'm done.
epic.
Because all you see is just what's on TV programs, Sex and the City. Definitely, I think they did they do an episode? Yeah, they did. Sex and the City did an episode at Hugh Hefner's. And I'm like, is it as mad as what it is?
But the thing is, I really feel like angry with myself because I went when I was 19 and I was boring when I was 19, right? I didn't even drink. Like, what the fuck? I didn't even have one alcoholic drink then. My sister put the fear of God into me and said you can only drink water and make sure the lid's on in case someone spikes you.
Yeah.
These days, I'd be going like, I'd be steaming in that grotto. You know what I mean? I would be literally living my best life. But I was boring, but I still had a brilliant time, don't get me wrong. But I feel like my story could be so much better if it was now, because I'd be wild.
It's not your typical 75th birthday, is it?
No, it really wasn't.
Was it just
Everyone
literally
was
just
like
filled-
naked?
Yeah, that's what I was. Was it really?
Everyone was naked.
It's not like tea and cake, a normal 75th,
No,
is
exactly.
it?
It wasn't. Like everyone was naked, and then at the end of the party, I was sitting on the table with him and his 7 girlfriends, right? And then he basically said to me, "Are you coming upstairs to bed?" And I was like, "Oh no, is that okay if I don't?" Like, I was honestly like, "Oh, Hef, do you mind if I don't come and shag you? That would be wonderful."
75 and still going at it.
Oh,
You see
yeah.
him pop the Viagra, and then he sort of like summons the girls. You could see a bit of look of dread on their face, and I was just like, "Oh, do you mind if I don't give you a blowjob? That would be great."
Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
And then he
Saggy,
said,
saggy,
Good for
saggy.
you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Nicola.
I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do it, especially sober. So I said, he said no. He goes, "No, doll," in his accent, and he was lovely. And the next day, I just partied with the girls again, and it was all fine. He wasn't cross.
So did you stay there then?
Yeah.
Over?
Yeah.
Do they have like rooms?
Yeah.
Is it like, it's not like a, skanky sort of like house party where everyone's like 10 people in one room, or
No,
did you have your own?
Yeah, so I had my own room. So like, not everyone can just stay, but I stayed, and you have like the telephone next to you, and if you press 0 on the telephone in the mansion, you can ask the butlers for anything, literally like anything. So if you want, like 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're hungry and you want fries with a bit of salt and a bit of vinegar, I just press 0.
Damn.
Did you press 0?
Of course I did. Yeah.
Oh my
They
god.
must have been like, get up.
I was going to say, how many butlers were there? Could you imagine?
And
Oh
when
my God.
when I like drove up in the limo that they picked me up in the airport there's the big sign Playmates at Play, and the rock starts talking to you. So the people come out like a rock. So it's like, who's here? And I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And then you drive in, and it's honestly like what you see on telly.
Oh my
and then
God.
Holly, one of Hef's girlfriends at the time, she was standing there in the full Playboy, like bunny ears and everything to greet us. I was like, this is life. Do you know what I mean? I was buzzing.
Talking about drunken antics, isn't it true that you went out drinking with Prince Harry and
Fell in a bush.
fell in the bush?
So I didn't like go out with Prince Harry, right? My husband literally said to me one day, like it was a Saturday, the boys had gone off to his mum's, and he was like, "Oh, we've got a day party today." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, I've got no nails on. I've got like, what party?" And he was like, "Oh, it's my friend's 30th and his parents' 60th wedding anniversary. So they're like having this big party." So I was like, right, let me run to the nail shop. Like, got myself sorted. As we're
Priorities.
of course. So as we're driving into this like mansion, the security was like nothing I'd ever seen before. And as I've just said, I've been to cool places, so I know about security. So I'm thinking, someone big's here, do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't just for...
Penny drops.
Yeah, this isn't...
Yeah.
And Tom was going to me, no, babe, it's just a 30th birthday party. I thought, okay, walk in and Prince Harry's there. And I was like, that's Prince Harry. And Tom was like, I didn't know he was going to be there. But he was so friendly. So then he offered, like, he was like, oh, do you want to do a tequila? Of course I'm going to do tequila with Prince Harry. Even though I shouldn't do shots, it does weird things to me.
Tequila is also a mad thing as well. It's my
like
favourite
ended up
spirit.
in the, oh no, I can't. Ended up in the bush. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And woke up the next morning and I had a white dress on, right? And the white dress was like wrecked. And I was like, oh, Nicola, you've done it again. Like, why can't you just go and have a couple of drinks? And
No.
be
Yeah, because you have
normal?
tequila though.
No.
Tequila makes you wild. It makes everybody wild. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I love
That's the
it.
only
It's
spirit I can
it's the only
drink.
thing.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
awful.
100%. Yeah,
It's great.
I'm always like, it makes you happy, and then you don't really have that much of a hangover the next day, I don't think.
I don't get hangovers anyway, ever.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So after Glamour Mode, what was the first ever reality TV show you did?
So the first one I did was The Jungle. So they'd asked me, the year Miley in class got it, they'd asked me to go for an interview. They ended up seeing me 7 times, right?
Whoa.
And they was like, we just don't know if we can really say you're a celebrity. And I was like, one of the most well-known page 3 girls ever. Like, what more do you want? Like, selling myself as if it was.
It was
like,
back in 2008, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was probably in 2006. The
wow.
first interviews, the 7th. Then the next year they didn't ask me. And then the year I got it, they phoned my agent and said, like, we want to see Nicola again. So I just literally walked in with a Louis Vuitton bucket bag full of all the press I'd got that year, emptied it out and was like, if you don't think that I'm good, I can get you press, then don't book me.
Damn.
But if you just want to be friends because I'm funny, take my number, but don't keep on calling me in here and getting my hopes up. And I got on the bus back, right? Only me. Got on the bus back and I phoned my agent. I went, that's in the bag, 100%. I knew. I just knew I'd got it.
And you got it.
Yeah. And
See, you dreamt about that when you were younger, and then
and
you got
guess
it.
who phoned me to tell me I'd got it?
Who?
Dane Bowers.
Was he working in the production office?
No, he was my manager's boyfriend. So he phoned me and said to me, oh, Chrissy doesn't want to phone you because she feels like you're going to be so disappointed. I went, oh, Dane, don't be silly. Don't worry about it. Like, it was a long shot, basically. And he went, only joking, you got it. And he sung me down the aisle as well, Dane Bowers.
Oh my
Aw.
goodness.
Aw.
That's mad. What do you think was like the best thing and the worst thing of being on I'm a Celebrity?
I don't think the only bad thing about that was missing my son and
Yeah.
my husband at the time. It was really horrible. And, you know, I'm never away from my kids. Like, even now, you know, I'm always with them. So to not be with him was horrific. And I'd never been away from Tom either. And maybe like, I was so insecure without any makeup on. I really Tom had never seen me without makeup on. Like, I gave birth in a full face of makeup. Now he never sees me with makeup. So I was really deeply insecure.
Yeah.
But that show made me get over that because,
good.
yeah, once I watched bits of it back, I was like, oh, you're not too bad. It's not bad.
No.
So
I
it was
think
quite,
it's just
that was quite
first
freeing.
initial. Yeah.
But it was just epic. Like, I'm not joking, from start to finish, like, you have a chaperone, and like my chaperone, I got on with her so well, and we got to Heathrow and I was like, I can't do this, I can't leave my son. She was like, glass of champagne. I was like, yeah.
Too easy.
They got on the plane and first class, like I'd never flown first class.
To Australia as well. Oh, lovely.
It was nice,
Lovely.
but-
24 hours of
And
bliss.
so I was like, I'm an anxious flyer anyway. So I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And she went, Singapore Sling, which is a cocktail that blows your head off. So basically another drunken story. I got drunk the whole way there.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it was just brilliant. And then you get another chaperone when you get there, that because you're there for sort of a week before the show starts.
I was going to say, how long are you normally before?
Like a week.
Yeah.
And you've got a code name so that it's all really like so exciting, like for me, like not being like really like super well known in my opinion, to then like be in the middle of this just amazing situation. I was
What's
like,
your code
buzzing.
name?
What was my code name? I can't remember that one. Big Brother, you had them as well. What mine was alcohol on the last one, which I don't know what, I don't know what they're trying to say to me. I can't remember, but I got this chaperone, right? And she was brilliant, like Australian girl. She was so much fun. So the first night, there's a security guard outside your room so that you can't go out. And she's with me. So we get this is a running thing. We get drunk, right? And then I say to her, we need more alcohol. And she goes, right, I'll go to the bottle shop, which they call it, like the off license. And I was like, no, you can't leave me on my own, because I hate being on my own. I'm never on my own. I hate being on my own. I was like, you can't leave me on my own. She was like, but you can't come. And I was like, right, let me tell you a secret. I'm not really famous. No one will know me. So she was like, I basically twisted her arm to believe that it was a good idea for us both to go out. So we told the security guard that I was going to sleep and that she was going back to her room. We then skipped out, went to a bar in Australia, and there was English lads there. Well, they all start singing the Page 3 song, which I won't. And she's like, thought you said no one knew you. I was like, they don't. I don't know. So she was like, get back to the room. And
were you supposed to stay in the room the whole time, so you wouldn't be able to leave the room?
So you can only go out if like all the security guards have spoken, so that you don't cross over with any other celeb.
I was going to say, because surely it'd be in the same hotel.
But they
different floors, different rooms.
No, they don't have you in the same
Different
hotel.
hotels,
Yeah, if I'm a celeb, they do. But also, they take your phone off you on the second leg of the journey, but they forgot to take mine. So I was fully
because everyone was drunk. Everyone was drunk on that plane.
Oh my God.
I was on my phone speaking to my husband. I knew all the lineup because
because it come out and people landed.
And then they
so funny.
And then they said to me, because I talk way too much, so I was obviously heard saying, "Ha, I've got my phone." They didn't know, and the production literally called me for this big showdown. Like, we can't believe you've been on your phone. I was like, well, you didn't take it.
That would have been hard. Jeez. From I'm a Celebrity to Celebrity Big Brother, what made you go into like I'm a Celebrity? Big Brother.
Big Brother. So I did.
It's quite the change.
It's quite a change. So I did Celebrity Total Wipeout. You know, in Argentina, like over the Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Like only me with these big balls can get over the Red Bulls. So I went there, and the celebrity booker for that was booking for
Celebrity Big Brother.
And I was being my crazy self, and she said to me, "Oh, do you want to do a breakfast meeting tomorrow?" And I was like, yeah, can do. Thinking, what, have I done something wrong? Like, so we sit down, and she said, right, I'm booking for Celebrity Big Brother. She was like, you have to do it. I was like, I'm there. Just
straight away.
I'm there. And that was it. She phoned my agent and said,
really?
She's epic. We need her.
Did you do it in the mindset of like, I want to do it to experience it, or just because like it'll be good press and money?
All of it
together.
Yeah. So I cannot tell you how excited I was to sit in the chair and say, hi, Big Brother, it's Nicola. Like, I love Big Brother.
You're not scared that like being in a house with people for a long duration, like it would just be too much?
I knew that my anxiety would be bad because I suffer so badly. I knew, you know, I don't go into these things blindly. I knew. So the first Big Brother I did, the first task we got as a house was a fairy tale task. And I knew the role that they had casted me in from that second, because all the other girls that were like glamorous and pretty, they were all like Rapunzel, and I was the big bad wolf. I thought, well, they're fucking sick.
They were doing that.
So I knew that was the role, and I thought, you know what? It's the dice you roll, isn't it? Like, you got to, it's a gamble. But it was so funny because I thought, don't moan at being the wolf, right? Inside I was like, I want to be a princess. But I thought, no, Nicola, just be a wolf, right? Just be a wolf. So they'd given you face paints to do. So I'm quite good, like, I like makeup and stuff. So I did the most perfect wolf, right? And then they called me in and said, you don't look like yourself. Can you wipe it all off? I was like, you wankers. I went, yeah, of course, no problem.
Because I think when you watch CBB and Big Brother, you only get clips of it, don't you, really? So you don't really actually know what Big Brother really says to you, and when they pull you into the diary room and tells you all different things. What kind of like inside secret and stories that went on in your time on the show that they told
Big
you to do?
Big Brother don't talk to you like that. Like, so they'll call you in and say, Nicola, we can't. You're not recognisable on screen as the wolf. Take the makeup off. But they, like, in the jungle, the guy that is the voice in the jungle that you don't hear, he talks. So like, he would say, he was Scottish. My parents.
Who talks?
So in the jungle, like the Bush Telegraph, the guy that you speak to, he will actually have a conversation with you. So it's much more. You build a relationship with him. Like, if I was sad, I'd go in there and say to him, "Oh, just sing to me. I'm really struggling," and he'd sing to me, and like, you know, we had a good. Well, I thought we were best friends.
By the end of
Probably
it.
thinking, "Oh, she's driving me mad."
Another song.
Yeah, Nicola, piss off. But he was personable. Like, he'd go, "You're doing really well." Honestly, he wouldn't tell you like
Trained therapist, who that person is.
He still wasn't paid enough.
No, definitely not. But Big Brother, they don't talk to you. So like, you go into the diary room, you can be sitting in there for like what seems like an hour before they even say hello to you.
What?
Like, they mind. It's a mind. So the jungle is like the physical stuff and eating and all the scary stuff. So it's mind like that, but really they're not trying to mentally like mess with you.
No,
Big Brother, they mentally mess with you.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, they're very clever. I mean, you'd get, because it's all different like producers, it's all different Big Brothers, and I'd get ones that I didn't like, and I'd walk in, they'd go, "Hi, Nick." I'd go, "Oh, I can't bear you, I'm not speaking to you, no, not a chance," because I'm a brat, I like getting my own way, right?
Yeah.
And I'm good at it.
If someone's not giving you the right vibes,
I'm like, "No, I'm not
no.
talking to you, I'm not playing ball today," or I'd go, "I'm not drinking tonight," and then they'd go, "What do you want? What do you want?" What do you want me to drink?
Because the new Big Brother is on ITV. We know what ITV's like when it comes to alcohol, especially Love Island. You're only allowed to have one drinks. So I was watching it this season, and I was like, "Oh, they are drinking, but no one's drunk. Now, you're saying that you were drunk.
Yeah.
How? Like, were they just supplying it, or was that the time before they decided, let's just calm down on the alcohol, or like,
yeah,
what?
I think they have definitely calmed down, and like, there's more duty of care, so they wouldn't let you get that drunk. But I can categorically tell you, I mean, if you watch it back, like, me and Bianca Gascoigne's conversation, you couldn't even understand her. She was slurring that badly. Like, I love Bianca. We are like,
she was good.
I mean, we were drunk. Like, me and Callum Best decided that we was going to make sangria, but we was using white wine and red wine.
Oh.
Like, that's not sangria, honey. Like, that is just a recipe for disaster. We were drunk. They gave us loads.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Heidi and Spencer, I mean, they are epic.
Oh, were you in the
aren't they?
time that you had Heidi and Spencer?
Yeah.
Stop.
They were.
Second
Wow.
time round, you had them.
The second time, and it was their second time as well.
Yeah, I remember that one as well. Yeah.
Oh my God, I was such a fangirl. Like, I embarrassed myself.
But they're just kind of strange though, weren't they, at the time? Because it was when Heidi literally had loads of plastic surgery that made her look completely different to what she was. Nothing against plastic surgery, full stop. But
I've got a massive issue with it. I hate it. Why would anyone do that?
But I think it was because she just got a load of press off of it, and then it was a time when Heidi was eating raw liver in the supermarket. And then they got into crystals. But when they were on the hills, they were very like narcissistic, really horrible people. And then all of a sudden, they became like these really angelic people. But yeah, I was fantasized by them.
I'm fascinated with them. It was really weird, right? So I slept next to them because Heidi was like, the only person that I'm happy to sleep next to my husband is Nicola.
Oh, really?
She was like, only Nicola. Like, no girls was allowed to hug Spencer.
Whoa.
They wouldn't let anybody touch their bedding, but I was allowed to help her put the bedding on, which obviously I thought was fucking great. When really, why did I want to make Spencer's bed? Like, I don't make my husband's bed. Do you know what I mean? Like, what a weirdo. I was totally allured.
This is what I mean. They have like this
Yeah,
energy
they
that
do.
sucks you in. Will you just come and be a doll and just help me pluff up my pillows? Sure, no problem. Like, oh my God.
They wouldn't let anyone prepare meals for them, but I was the cooking Big Brother, so they didn't mind me.
Yeah.
But like, if anyone touched any of it, Spencer's a real germaphobe. So if anyone touched anything, he'd be like, I can't eat that now. So I'd be like, no one go near Spencer's food. I was like a bouncer in there for Spencer. Yeah, it was really weird.
That house does weird things to people.
Weird things, yeah. Yeah.
Now, was it the All Stars that you had Denise Welch in that?
No, that was the All Stars one was Kim Woodburn.
Oh my.
And Denise Welch was the first one.
So you went into the first one, you had a bit of a hoo-ha with Denise. We'll go into that in a second. Did they want you to kind of like have a bit more of a hoo-ha in the second one that you went into the All Stars? Do you think that's why they brought you back?
I think everyone wants that from me.
Yeah.
I think even like reality fans, you know, I think that my arguments are epic, aren't they? And I think what it is the fact that it's very rare to get someone that really doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't
Yeah.
care. If I've got something to say and I believe it, I'm saying it with my chest and I'm not backing down. And I don't self-edit. So every celeb now self-edits. I'm not calling myself a celeb, but you know what I mean? Like us Z-lid celebs, right? We're not as fun as we was. Well, I still am because I don't self-edit.
No.
I can't. I try to sometimes.
What happened with Denise and the Pantsgate?
Yeah, so it was really like now, I was right then and I'm still right now. I stand by it 1,000,000%, right? 1,000,000%. So we were all dancing, me, Denise Welsh, and the two Playboy twins, Christina and Carissa Shannon, right? We were all dancing to Girls Just Want to Have Fun. We were all a bit tipsy. And suddenly Denise just pulls one of the twins' pants, like pyjama bottoms, and like bears her bum.
Whoa.
So the twin was like, what are you doing? Like, I didn't want you to do that. And Denise I was like, Denise, whoa, that's just say sorry. That's not cool. And she was like, well, she does it for a living. So what's the problem? So obviously I seen red because I was a page 3 girl. Does it mean that you can pull my top up? No. Do you know what I mean? I don't go topless on the beach. If you want to pay me, then not now, I'm too old. But do you know what I mean? Like, so I was really offended by this, as I should have been, and as the viewers should have been. But of course, they wasn't. And the viewers all sided with Denise. And the viewers were of the like mind with Denise. Well, they get their bits out in Playboy, so what's the problem?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was so offended by it. I still am a bit cross with it. I still feel like it
It'd be completely different now.
It would be completely different now. So I just lost my shit. But there's like this great scene of me sitting up by the eye, like I think they're going to open the eye and let me out. Like, that's not how you want it. So I'm going, let me out. I don't like any of these people. I don't like any of these. Gareth Thomas, who's literally one of the nicest people I've ever met in the industry, the rugby player.
Yeah.
I adored him. He's walking up the stairs to try and calm me, and I'm going, I don't like any of you. And he's like, all right, hon. Yeah, lost it. So I lost it, and then Denise and I never really we were friends up until then. We were getting on really well, and we just never rekindled the relationship. And then she slagged me off in her autobiography. One of the steps is to make amends. I'm still waiting. I really want the amends. I really do, and I'll take it gracefully.
First of all, to actually bring you into a book, you must have done something.
I didn't. Like, honestly.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, as in it affected her.
It did
for her
affect her.
to write it in the book, full stop.
Yeah, I was upset about being slagged off in the book, but at least I'm in a book, I suppose.
I know.
Oh yeah.
It's like you're either written in a book, you're in a song, or like you're in one of those quizzes, like
I was on Pointless.
Chase. Oh really?
Yeah, I was on Pointless.
You were a question on
Yeah.
Pointless.
What was it?
Oh,
That's
brilliant.
Tell me.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what I mean.
I can't remember what
Oh,
it was.
you know
That's
when
good,
when you're a
that's good,
question
that's good.
in
Question
Oh,
on
take
Pointless.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
Pointless.
you made it.
Yeah, so Denise Welsh, and that was the big row there. And it was pretty epic. And then I went back in the second time and I thought, I had a bit of peace and harmony. I'm older, I'm wiser. Oh no.
bit more zen.
No, it just kicked off royally with Kim Woodburn. Worse than Denise.
To be honest, I think that Kim Woodburn argument really is it would be the greatest reality row of all time.
It was good.
Give us a rundown of what happened.
Well, there was loads. Like, there was loads of rows. No, there was.
It was just such a perfect,
So
from a
Kim-
journalist point of view, it was
Yeah.
a perfect combination of personalities.
So I almost forgot who Kim was, and then I googled who she was, and I was like, oh, she was the cleaning lady. What was that show? And she used to always have those marigolds with
Oh,
the
but you
feathers.
can't call her a cleaner because she doesn't like that, does she?
She doesn't like being called a... And she didn't clean
Sorry?
once in
She doesn't
there.
like being called a cleaner.
No,
But
she-
no,
Oh,
I
don't
mean,
start.
what?
Don't start.
with me.
Yeah, but what
Don't
was that
start.
TV program that she did too, where
How
it
Can
was
You Use
about
Your
cleaning?
House?
Thank
she
you.
don't talk to Aggie, does she?
No,
either?
she was horrible to Aggie. She's horrible to everyone. She's really weird.
But she does it in such a patronising way. Where it's like, oh, don't be silly, dear.
Oh, don't
Well,
start.
I'm like,
one of the biggest rows started, right? We were all doing a face-to-face nomination, right?
oh shit.
So which is fine. I've got no problem, right? So then she goes, I nominate Nicole. So I said, Nicola.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Like,
Wait,
there's no one in here called Nicole. So who are you nominating? What? So is that
It is iconic, that's
So
it.
she goes, I nominate Nicole. So I look straight forward. I'm not even looking at her. I go, Nicola. And she goes, oh, don't you start with me, you little bitch. And I'm like, You're calling me a bitch for telling you my name. I'm spitting. I'm that angry still. You're calling me a bitch for telling you my name isn't Nicole. So Callum Best, bless him, was like, her name's not. That's all she's saying. Oh no, she went mental. So then I went worse. Like, that's the problem with me. If you raise me, I'm gonna go worse. So that was one of the good ones. And then when she was arguing with, she's called me a bitch. So Jamie O'Hara was like, "What? How is she a bitch?" And then she went nuts at him and ended up getting carried off by security, like spilling her wine while I'm in the diary room with one hand over my eye, going, "Just let me go home."
Tell us a story about the eye.
So everyone thought that Kim Woodburn had punched me and I had a black eye. It didn't happen. I mean, it'd be funny if it did, but it didn't. So I've got a squint. Only me, right? I developed an adult squint just before I went into Big Brother. So at the minute, I've got a contact lens in, or I'll have my glasses. So if I don't have a lens in, I basically look like that. And I didn't want people to see it because it's quite, but squints are really hard to deal with if you've got one. So I would cover my eye. But I think what made it funnier is Kim has one as well. So I'd be arguing with her with one hand over because I was like so paranoid. But she had one. But I didn't realise this at the time until I've watched it back and I thought, oh lordy, she should have been covering her eyes.
That would have been amazing if one of you was like that and the other one was like that. It's like an eye test.
But they managed to bring in glasses, so they would
so,
sort that out.
So they sorted it out for me. So my husband went and picked me the iconic Ray-Bans that everyone loved, and so
would you trust your husband to be buying glasses?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, he's good.
Oh yeah. Tom planned our whole wedding. The only thing I did was pick the dress.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, if you want to, I just wanted to get married in Vegas, and he wanted this massive wedding. I was like, I cannot organise anything. Like
I hate it.
I hate organisation.
I hate it.
There's no Mrs. Hinch going on over here. Do you know what I mean? It's just not happening. So he's good. So I would have trusted him.
Organising events, can't stand it.
No.
So, it's my mum's 60th next year, and my sister keeps texting me, what are we going to do? We need to do. I'm like, God.
Get Nicola's husband to do it.
Yeah, he'll do it for you. Yeah. He'll sort you out.
In this part of the show, we're going to discuss what is in the news at the moment. So first up, as we know, we're getting into November, and I'm a Celebrity lineup, and rumours have been announced. So there's just a couple of names at the moment which are rumoured. I'm sure, Benji, you can tell us.
I'll give you the inside scoop.
What does inside love is? So Sam Thompson, is it a yay or a nay?
I think a yes. I mean,
Really?
he's ITV sort of bread and butter. Viewers will love him.
Oh, I think
I think he's a yay to going in, but in terms of entertainment,
Yeah.
I can't stand him.
Oh, I love him.
Oh no, he drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? Right, I absolutely love watching him on Instagram.
Hilarious, don't get me wrong. Love that, and love what he does with Pete Wicks. I think he's brilliant like that. But as a person, I'm a bit like, oh, you're annoying.
Well, do you know what happened? I went to an awards show with Rebecca Vardy, right? That's no one likes that name. So I went to an award show for Rebecca Vardy, right? And he was sitting next to us, and I cannot tell you, he kissed her ass for the whole time, right? Like literally was like, oh my God, is there any way you could get me tickets? And oh my God, because he loves football, right? He kissed her ass for the whole time. And then I'm not joking, a couple of weeks later, went on Twitter and slagged her off, and I was like, I don't like people like that.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Why did you?
No.
So then, of course, I had to say funny that because we were sitting next to you at the thing and he was kissing her ass. Do you know what I mean?
Two fakeness.
Yeah, but I do like
two-faced
watching him.
fakeness. Yeah.
Nicola's like the referee
Yeah,
of
love it.
Celebland. I like it.
love it,
Cross
love it,
her.
I
love
might
it.
start bringing red and yellow cards.
Yes,
so
events. I like that.
Corrie's actor Alan Halsall.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, he's going on, but I don't watch the soaps.
No, I
but
don't.
to be
But
honest,
he's an iconic face. So I think even when I watched it way back when I was little, he's still there.
he'll
he's
get
still
to
on it.
he get to the last three, or
Yep.
he might even come second.
Yep.
Because you've got to remember, in terms of ratings, Corrie comes on just before I'm a Celeb, right? So they keep all the viewers that they've got straight through. Corrie or Emmerdale
Smart.
is always a massive hit. on
I didn't
I'm a
like
Celeb.
that.
Yeah. Well, I went
Tactical.
to Australia to write about it. So I remember people arriving at the airport, and there was a couple of people because the press team will tell you someone's about to land, and you're staying at the airport like 22 hours a day, right? I had a blazing row with another reporter from The Sun, right? So I was about to say I'm a celebrity and get on a plane home. I'm a journalist. And they tell you someone's going to land, but they don't tell you the name, right? And there were two people we had no idea. And people are walking through and you're trying to tell, right, are they walking like a celebrity?
Do they look like a
That
celebrity?
is brilliant.
I mean, it was amazing. And the two people we had no clue, because we knew Carol Vorderman and Lisa Snowden, that was easy. But we didn't know who Joel Dommett was, which is nuts. Because,
which is true, yeah.
I love him as well.
because now you know who he is,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
And
think
the other one
most people were
was
a bit like that because he was a comedian.
Jordan Banjo.
Oh,
From Diversity.
Yeah, no, I knew.
And we just luckily we worked out that the person was going on, but I got nominated to ask Jordan Banjo who he was at the airport.
That is very embarrassing.
Very.
But I think it's a way of like, you know, when you're with a friend and you go to a party and you know the person but you don't know the person. It's like, how do you find out what their name is? I'm always like, oh hi, I'm Emma, this is blah blah blah, and then I just wait for that person. I just stand there in silence like, and you are.
In that situation, there was no way about it because someone had to ask. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the photographer wouldn't know what to write on the caption to send back to the UK.
Oh shit, yeah.
He was really sweet about it. He was
He
like,
seems nice.
oh, well, and then he was sweet. He was like, well, my brother's the main one in Diversity, Ashley, but I'm Jordan. I mean, yeah, it was, I loved writing about that show, and it was a nice year. Scarlett Moffat won.
Yep.
People loved her.
She was great, yeah.
Carol Vorderman, yeah, it was a good year.
Josie Gibson. Yeah,
Yeah,
nay.
she's 100%.
Yeah.
100%?
She's
She'll do
100%.
She would be brilliant.
But I hope she'll be great.
She will be great. Like, Josie is one of the nicest girls, right? And she has not changed. If you meet Josie now to when back in the day, she is the nicest girl, and I absolutely are loving her on This Morning. I know her makeup artist, she's looking so hot every day on there. She's smashing it. I love her. But the problem with me is I don't like just niceness. I want juice, and I just think that they play it too safe in there. Like, there's never any arguments anymore, and it's like, the Corrie guy, you know exactly what he's going to be like. He's going to be like the last Corrie guy that went in. It's almost like they've got a mould now, and you fit into that mould, and it's like the same, different name, but the same person going in. Do you know what I mean? Just mix it up a bit.
Well, this is why the rumoured name, which I think is confirmed, of Nigel Farage, is going to be amazing.
He'll be good.
Because there was rumour of like Liz Truss going on. I would have died to watch that. But
Liz
Nigel
Truss never going to
Farage, okay.
happen. She's a sitting MP, right?
Yeah.
But Nigel Farage now, he's not an active MP. He's on TV. We know he's good. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. But the only way he'll be good, and I'd be interested to hear your opinion, Nicola, is they need to find the other person that's going to clash with him.
Yeah.
That's the point. It's like when they had that Matt Hancock on there, right?
Yeah.
How nobody gave that guy a hard time.
Well, they tried to, didn't they?
They didn't. They didn't. If you want to do it, and that's the problem, you need to find someone who's got the balls to do it. Because let me tell you, even as someone like me, sometimes it is hard to do. Yeah. Like, when I was in the jungle, Joe Swash wanted to keep the happy camp, and I'm like, no, I don't like that person. So I'm going to turn it around. But it was hard to do because Joe Swash was just kept on trying to like squash it all the time, and I'm like, this is not just your show. Like, I'm on here, and I want to argue, but it isn't easy to do because you have to have balls to do it. Do you know what I mean? Or you could just swallow everything, which is what. No pun intended, which is what I don't do. Which is what I never do. They need to find someone that's got the balls to be arguing against what he says, because, or you're just going to get people going, oh, I don't agree with his politician stance, but he's a nice guy, which they did with Matt Hancock.
They did later on, didn't they? Because he,
I think an older woman that knows herself to go in there like an ex-soap star or an ex TV presenter, whatever, could set him straight.
Yeah, but get a glamour model in there.
Yeah, I think maybe that side, because who was it in last year? Was it Charlene? What was she called?
Charlene White.
Yeah, Charlene
Loose
White from
woman.
on Channel 5. But because she was very, no, I'm still on the TV screen on Channel 5 News. She didn't want to do anything that has...
ITV News.
Was she ITV News?
Yeah.
I thought she was Channel 5 News. But
No,
yeah,
she's ITV and she's Loose Women. So obviously she had a lot to protect.
Yeah.
You need people in there
That
that haven't got anything to lose.
You know who would be amazing?
Go on.
Eamon Holmes.
Oh,
And
I
Eamon
adore
Holmes.
him.
He'd be brilliant.
I love him.
He'd be brilliant. He'd be brilliant.
He is one of my
But he's in a
favourite.
he's
He's great.
got bad back, hasn't he? I saw him at the race.
stick him in a
sort of-
wheelchair or give him a cushion or something like that.
We
Yeah,
need
just
him in
love
the
that.
next Big Brother is what we need him in.
Yeah.
He
So
is a Big
good.
Brother fan as well.
He
Used to do Big
is.
Brother's bit on the side with
Oh my
him.
god, yeah, Eamon
he's
Holmes,
great.
loved him.
He's brilliant.
Is Olivia Atwood going back in?
I don't think they put anyone back in at this for one of these
Yeah.
unless it was an All Stars, you know.
It's such a shame because I really thought she was going to win it last year, and the fact that she got pulled out, it was so unfortunate. But she's just so busy this year.
I don't know if they ever put someone back in that's been pulled out on medical.
No.
But it was their fault that they pulled it out. They pulled
Yeah,
her
what
out.
was it? Something to do with
Her
COVID,
blood,
wasn't it?
No, it was her blood test.
But then because they'd taken her out, she was then
Ah,
contaminated
that was it. Yeah.
with
That was such a shame because I'm a massive Olivia Atwood
Yeah.
fan.
She's amazing.
But I don't think they've ever put someone back in. The only person that's ever gone back in is Katie Price, isn't it? She's done it
Yeah.
twice, hasn't she? I think that they would like to give Olivia a go because she's definitely ITV talent, but whether or not it will be this time, I'm not sure.
Well, maybe if they interview her and ask her if she's willing to go head to head with Nigel Farage, then I think.
I think she would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. But then again,
100%.
you know, she's got a slightly self-edit because she's got big shows.
Yeah, she's got some good shows at the moment, and she's just got married and all this. So I don't think she'll go back in. It'll be sad. But yeah, who would you like to see going?
Oh, I mean, I'd love to see Eamon.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know who I would 100% die to see in there? And you know she would give Nigel Farage a hard time? Sharon Osbourne.
Oh yes,
Sharon
she's my
Osbourne.
fave.
I mean, I love her.
Yeah,
Right?
I love her.
I interviewed her the week I left The Sun. There was only one celeb that I wanted to interview and I'd never chatted to. And I managed to get an interview with Sharon Osbourne because she was doing Who Do You Think You Are? And I rang the LA number and I thought, oh, there's going to be a publicist on the phone. And her publicist is well known as being a real nightmare. Anyway, it was just a personal assistant. And they said, Miss Osborne's ready for you now. And they clicked me through and they said, I'll be leaving the car. She gave me 45 minutes and she went, I mean, I'm Jewish and she's Jewish. She went nuts at Jeremy Corbyn at the time. She said, he's a fucking cunt. I want to do this to him and that. I'm such a fan of her.
Yeah.
And that is one person that does not self-edit.
She needs
Love
to
it.
go in. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
agree. She'd be brilliant.
She
wouldn't
would, she
Yeah,
would. And she's
would.
part of ITV sort of fodder, isn't she?
She must have been asked. She must have been. Maybe she's not up for the no makeup.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on to Colleen Rooney's got a documentary out on Disney Plus. You're friends with Rebecca Vardy. Is it hard to watch all of this? And have you watched it? And what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I have watched it. Well, my opinion is Colleen comes across really, really well.
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant show. I think she's done well. I think that she deserves it. She's done well. She comes across well. We've all grown up with Colleen. I don't have any problem with Colleen. And you know, the text messages make for uncomfortable viewing, don't they?
Yeah. What's your opinion on the whole Wagafer?
I mean, look, not to be too sadistic, but as a showbiz journalist, this is what you pray for every day of your career and you never see land on your lap, right?
Yeah.
But it really did land on our laps and it's when we really needed it, right?
Yeah.
Look, I kind of think, to your point, Colleen has done really, really well out of this for someone that in the past hasn't really spoken to the press much and has been, in the last sort of 5-10 years, relatively private, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't do that many brand endorsements. No. You know, she's kept quite a low profile. And it's quite interesting and slightly... I mean, I feel slightly uncomfortable about how much she's used this to leverage her own profile, because there's not just the documentary, there's the Vogue cover,
But
right?
why do you feel uncomfortable about it? I think good for you.
Because I think it's essentially someone else's misery.
Whose misery?
Rebecca's misery. Because it's not like a fair play of a celebrity, like, you know, there's someone else involved. Like, say something horrific happens to you and you write a book about it, or you sell it to the press, or you do a TV program. Fair play. But I do think every time that she does a Vogue cover, or now that she's done the TV series, which will forever be around, it's like, whether Rebecca did it or not, or the extent of her involvement in this story, it's like someone else gets more miserable every time.
But Rebecca did an interview.
Yeah, but I mean, nothing on the scale of...
But she would have done if she'd have got offered it.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it doesn't feel equal at the moment how it is now, right?
I'm surprised. I disagree.
I just think...
So the thing is, right, it's fair game. You know, Rebecca did her interview quite quickly. Colleen obviously took her time because she had Disney and Vogue, which is like the dream, yeah?
Wow.
I mean, I think only one wag has ever been on the cover of Vogue, and that's VB.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. Posh Spice, we love her. I think that I don't have a problem with Colleen doing this documentary. The only person I feel sorry for in it is the Rebecca's manager, who was my manager, who's one of my best friends for 18 years, because I think she's got the rough end of the deal.
Why do you think that?
Well, I know, because I know personally how much it affected her mental health.
Yeah.
And I feel like she didn't take anyone to court. She didn't want the text messages to be made public.
Yeah.
She didn't want it to go to
She
court.
didn't speak in court, did she?
She didn't speak.
No.
Her husband pulled her out of it on a
Yeah,
psychiatric basis. Yeah. So let's take Caroline out of it, because obviously she's one of my best friends. My husband played with her husband before I had Rocky, who's 17, so for that many years. So take her out of it. Other than that, it's fair game. Like, it's fair, in my opinion, it's fair game. Like, you know, Rebecca took Colleen to court, not the other way around.
Yeah, I suppose.
So, you know, I'm like, you know...
Where will it end? I mean, when you say it's fair game, do you sort of say, like, if there's a film, if they're still talking about this in 10 years' time? I mean, there was a musical. There's a play about
That's what
it.
I mean.
There's been
so
a
much off the
drama
back of
about
it.
it. I mean, I love it. I just try and think every time there's something huge, it's just, you know, it's a bit of a, I suppose it's a bit of, it somewhat, I mean, how does Rebecca feel about it? Is she not distraught? Or does she leave the house?
Oh yeah, she's living her best life on it. I haven't spoken to Rebecca, just like Instagram message. I haven't spoken to Rebecca for ages, so I wouldn't know how she's feeling. To me, it looks like she's in Dubai. She's having a lovely time. So, you know.
All right.
You know, Caroline's the one that, you know, that struggles with it, because she's private. She never wanted to, you know, she doesn't want to go to her husband's football matches and be packed. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
So, you know, so that's that part. But as in the two wags, I think it's fair game.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. I mean, my opinion is what happened has happened. But the fact that it keeps being brought up, like exactly what it said, there's a musical, there's now a documentary. I'm not going to watch the documentary, because I think when it all came out, first of all, you're like, oh my God, this is just like, what is happening? Because you wouldn't think that somebody would do this. And now it just keeps going, and you're just like, enough now, you know?
I mean, for me, the best piece of content to come out of this was the Instagram post, right?
Yeah.
That's what people quote again and again. I mean, there's 100 ways to skin a cat. We'll hear it in different ways. We'll hear the musical translated into Chinese, and a whole new audience will love it and see it, because it is the ultimate. What she did is great, and for me, that initial bit is still the best part of the story. ...
I remember when it was done, I was like, oh my God, no, this can't possibly. I remember I'm very rarely stuck for words. I literally was like this. Tom was like, what? And I was like, he was like, babe, are you okay? I was like, I couldn't speak for ages. And he was like, is it you? Is it? But I was like, no. I would be moving to Dubai, let alone going on holiday there.
Do you think, was there a bit of you that was like a tiny bit jealous that you hadn't thought of this? Because it was such a good, it was such a good trap. It was, but come on, it was such a good trap.
No, I wasn't jealous. I was horrified. No, I was horrified.
Nicola, we want the truth.
That's the truth. I've been truthful.
Yeah.
So remind me again, she told a story she knew that something was happening with someone leaking stories about Colleen to the press, right? So she told a different story to one of her friends just to find out who was leaking it. No, what she did
was, there were stories that were, I know a lot of the people involved in this, so I'll be diplomatic, but there was, and I was working at the paper at this time, but I'm not named. So. There were stories ending up in the Sun, right? One of them was that Colleen and Wayne were doing gender selection.
Yeah.
And these stories were being published in the paper. Now, this is after Colleen thought that someone may have been leaking stories to the press. And one of those stories, she'd basically only allowed Rebecca's account to view it, Rebecca Vardy's Instagram account.
What? How did you do that?
So you block everyone else from seeing the story.
Stop.
And that's how and there was a few stories, wasn't there? So she was certain. Now the reason
How did you do that? Block everybody's account and just to show one person. I mean, that is time, that's dedication. Excel spreadsheets need to be used.
I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. But then it was Rebecca that took Colleen to court to clear her name, essentially. But she
for
lost,
like slander and stuff. But
Yeah. And the question around it was, one of the questions around the court case was, when we talk about someone's account, seeing it and that story ending up in the press, does that mean that they can be the only person to do that?
Of course.
And that was some of the uncertainty, wasn't it?
Wow. Oh my God.
But Showbiz story of the century.
I mean, it trended over like COVID and stuff. It was like it was insane. I mean,
it really did. Yeah, and it's still going on now. Yeah. To this point.
If you watch the documentary, Colleen says in the documentary, I actually didn't have any evidence. Like, I actually didn't have any hard evidence to go to court. But Rebecca took her to court and won. She won.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Damn. So good.
It's a lot of money. A lot of money.
And I think this story was made all the more sensational because I think in the last few years there's been some doubt over whether WAGs have the same star power and pull power than they did 10 years ago, right? Because the WAGs of today, as in the current wives and girlfriends of England players, they just don't get the same press, right? And I think that story was a reminder that the kind of OG WAGs, your era, you know, still have that pulling power.
Well, the reason why the WAGs don't do anything now, because you remember, I mean, I used to, before online, every Tuesday OK magazine come out and I would wait every week to see who was on the cover. Was it Alex Gerrard and Stephen Gerrard? Was it Victoria Beckham? Which WAG is it? I was so excited. Yeah. But
it's like Cheryl Cole and Ashley Cole at the time.
Terry and all of that stuff.
Yes. And Ella Rivers. Do you remember Ella Rivers?
I loved that. She made a career. Yes, she went to every celebrity party going.
She dined out. I loved her, right? And I was just so excited by it. When they were dancing on the tables at the World Cup, I was like, this is epic, right? But the reason why it's died down with WAGs, because the footballers worked out that if they were selling their weddings to the OK and their births and their christenings, then they were public property. So then the cheating stories can come out. Now that they're not public property, they can say that it's not of the public interest. So that's how they're getting away with it.
Yeah, I do think football players.
Bang on, Nicola. She knows her media law well.
You are good, and
I'm not taking anyone to court.
But I do think football players nowadays are very careful, apart unless your name is Jack Grealish in the Car Walkers of the World.
Brilliant.
I'm
like they're almost just like
and he'll have a career after football. That's it, isn't it? You know, if you've got a personality while you're playing, you know that brands will be lining up to work with you after.
I mean, I think he's got enough money not to worry.
I just think they look after their image a little bit more. They don't really go out so much, and you don't really. get
oh my
pictured
God,
as much.
they are still the stories that come out where, but it's like their son aren't naming them
No.
because they can get something that those footballers are behaving so badly still, and I'm
I'm not
for
saying.
it.
And there was that
I'm not
story-
saying they're innocent.
When
I'm
they
saying
went to
like they do it
Iceland during
discreetly.
COVID, the England players.
Foden.
Yeah,
I
Foden
love
had the
Philly.
girls
I
round.
love Philly.
I know. I was
fact
in the
that-
office when that story broke and they
couldn't
were
believe
getting their
that.
kiss and
But-
tell sorted, and I was like, they're still.
Rings up the
And
girl.
Mason Greenwood,
Yeah.
he was there. Well, that ended badly.
Oh
didn't it?
my God, I forgot about that.
There's still the
but
odd
Phil
scandal.
had a girlfriend / wife.
Oh yeah. Oh
And-
yeah.
oh my
They
God, I
thought
love that
still
shit.
in
I mean,
Iceland.
he's only young,
Or-
isn't he?
or like-
Let's leave Philly alone. Poor boy. I know I should be a girl's girl here, but I love him. He's a great footballer.
Yeah. Love that.
And his son, right, after City, I mean, how have I turned this to football? But hear me out. After Man City won the treble, his little boy like trended, like went
Yeah.
nationwide, right, or global. They set him up on Instagram. He's already got about 4 million
Yep.
followers.
Brilliant.
I
Yeah.
can't get over
Brilliant.
260k. And this 4-year-old is like, what is Ronnie doing that I'm
I
not?
think he needs to do a collab post.
Oh, now hook me up, Phil. I've been nice to you. You even said the cheating sweets.
So this is the part of the show where we have some of our viewers come in with a dilemma. Do you like the little pun? No one got that.
Oh, Emma.
Oh, sorry.
That
so-
joke can go. Anyways, so we do have one, and it says this: I would love to get your feedback. Okay. I've recently found out my fiance has a work wife. Despite his assurances, it makes me feel uncomfortable because they text all the time and they often go out for drinks after work. I don't want to seem like I'm controlling, so I don't want to approach it with my fiance. I do feel uncomfortable because unfortunately I'm insecure and as a result of my past relationships. Please help me navigate this.
I mean, absolutely fucking not. No. Absolutely not. Work wife, that wouldn't even... If I had to say that about my husband, he's got a work wife, I
No.
would not be married.
No.
Right? I'm not having female... You're not having female friends. That's just categorically no. I don't agree with platonic friendships. It doesn't happen. One person fancies the other. Fact. I've only ever had one platonic friendship in my whole entire life. I've still got him as a friend. He's one of Tom's friends. Other than that, they all say inappropriate stuff.
I believe that you can be friends with a guy or like a girl, vice versa. But the fact that she feels insecure, like that's not her own fault. This is not her own fault. The fact that her fiance is rubbing this shit in her face is not a good thing, first of all.
On the phone all the time, going out for
Yeah,
dinners.
that's not-
No.
that
it's
is
not
a little-
I mean,
happening.
Yeah.
wait till you're married, at least.
No.
You know?
No.
I've got a confession to make.
Go on.
I've actually been someone's work husband before. Another man who was straight, and his girlfriend wasn't very happy about it. And we used to go out for dinners and drinks
And was
after
it more
work.
than friends?
Did it ever go there for?
It didn't actually, but
Was
but
there flirtation?
there was flirtation.
See?
But
I'm not having my
Yeah.
husband having dinner with someone and flirting. I swear to God, I would be in that restaurant dashing drinks.
I had to meet her, and I got a lot closer to her, and we checked that it was all
Yeah,
fine.
I think there's that.
I think that's the thing. If it really is platonic between
I
these
don't
two
believe.
people,
I don't believe.
You know
in
what? I
platonic
think
friendships.
no. I tell you what. She
I
should.
don't.
I know what she should. She should navigate this in the way where she should speak to the girl and be like, "Hey, do you want to come round for dinner?"
No,
And that would be bloody. But no,
Emma,
because then you can actually work out whether or not there is a chemistry because you know how they act.
This is how she navigates it, okay? And if
wanna hear
the
this.
girl wants to message me privately on DM on Instagram, I will happily coach you through this. You sit the fiance down and you say to him, "Listen, I don't know who you think you're marrying, but I'm not a dickhead. You will not have a work wife and then another wife. Absolutely not. Going out for dinner with this woman ain't working for me. Texting her's not working for me, and calling her's not working for me. I don't mind. I'm not being controlling. Be friends at work, no problem. But all the rest of it makes me feel uncomfortable. If that's not good enough for you, we shouldn't be getting married. Because I've been with Tom nearly 18 years. If he can't accept my cray, then we can't be married. Do you know what I mean?
I gotta give it to you.
And
Yeah.
also, like, if you're going out for dinner, take me out for dinner.
Yeah,
like,
that is that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time.
I don't agree with the constant texting and going out for drinks and dinner. I do think if this person is going to stay in her fiance's life, then she needs to, exactly what you said, address it, speak about it, say I'm not happy about it, and like whether or not that the fiance stays in their life, I think there you go.
Well, there's something going on between them, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
Really? If you need to be spending dinners with someone else that's not your fiance, there's probably something going on in a relationship.
God, as soon as you finish work, you want to dash out of that and go home if you really want to be with a wife.
I could not tell you, if Tom said to me, I'm going out for dinner with another woman, what would come out of my mouth would not be great. Like, I'd be like, firstly, I wouldn't, if he even dared say it. And I'm not actually a jealous person, right? Tom goes away for work all the time. He works in Vegas. Tomorrow he's off to Japan for work. I don't care. Go live your best life, hun. But the moment that you think that it's acceptable to tell me you've got a work wife, absolutely not.
I agree with you. Yeah,
done. Done.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction of even saying anything. Tom would not come out with those words to me because he's not disrespectful.
Well, this is it. I do think that the fiance is quite literally trying to make the girl jealous. Like, who does that?
He's probably just trying to be like,
get attention.
It's so out in the air, nothing's happening. Oh, you tell me after a few cocktails they're not flirting. It is.
So
I'm
true.
sorry.
It happens. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It
In fact, what's the name of the girl that's written in?
No, honestly, I just don't believe in platonic friendships. I really don't.
And alcohol, I think. Alcohol's that extra thing that just tips it over the edge.
Definitely
usually.
puts you in.
Makes people hoes. like this work wife from fuming.
It does. Yeah, a steak and a red wine. Shit. You're in
it's
for
one
trouble.
thing maybe
Steak,
going for
red
lunch
wine
together.
And a blowjob.
Yeah, that was
Do you know what I mean?
That's set meal for two, isn't
Do you know
it?
what I mean? 3-course meal. And you get the liqueur after.
Oh, good. I'll come round for
Yeah,
yours next week.
It's an aphrodisiac.
Honestly. Don't tell me they go for oysters as well. A bit of asparagus on the plate. Absolutely not.
No.
And tequila to top it all off.
No,
Yeah, they'd be jumping on
this
each other
girl,
like anything.
If she says she feels insecure because of like past relationships and stuff, that's horrible.
Yeah.
And you've got to know your worth, because at the end of the day, you can't be marrying someone that you think might be doing something that they shouldn't be, because marriages are like, I'm in it for life. Do you know what I mean? And it's not always the easiest ride. So you've got to be willing to, you can't become a captain until you've rode the storm. Right? There you go. That's the saying. DM me. I'm going to tell you lots of things to do to really annoy him.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I do also think that I like what you said when you said about your cray. Like, if you can't accept that, sometimes this is what I do. I'm at the point now of my life where I'm a lot older compared to like my 20-year-old self, where you wanted to always please somebody, and it's like, oh yeah, I've got a work friend, okay, yeah, absolutely fine. Now I'm just like, I don't like this, and I will literally open my mouth, and to the point of like, I will hit them away or bat them away with as much shit as possible that I don't like. And if they keep wanting coming back, I'm like, well, that one's a keeper. I love that one.
Yeah.
I did act normal for about the first year. Like, honestly, like, I really did a good job as well, right? I knew I'd marry Tom from the picture, right? We went on a blind date, but I like Googled him, and I knew I'd marry him from the picture. I told my mum. She was like, you're a weirdo. I was like, I'm going to marry this man. So I was doing all I could to get my foot under the rug, right? So I acted really normal, like just cute and easygoing, and then
Like
it as
Jack
soon
in the
as the
Box.
ring went on your finger?
No, we didn't propose for 4 years. We had a kid before.
Jesus.
I was pregnant within 9 months.
4 years.
4 years it
But
took
you
to-
stopped acting normal after the first year. You thought, I've got enough of the stake in this.
Well, once I was pregnant, like, what's he going to do? Leave me?
But I just had to understand the psychology.
No, once I was pregnant, you're mine forever. And even if you leave me, you've still got to see me. Poor man, like literally.
It's called honey trapping.
Yeah, no, I did probably do that. But
No. Exactly. It's not like you did
yeah,
that.
and then I just like unleashed my full personality, and I think he thought, "Wow, I was not expecting this."
Yeah, but you're in for the ride. It's a roller coaster, but it's fun.
I mean,
like,
he's nuts as well. It's not just me.
exactly.
But he's not jealous either. I mean, I'd like to ask him what he'd do if I said to him, "I've got a work husband." But
If he gave you no reaction, do you think
he wouldn't give me a reaction.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. If he didn't give you a reaction, do you think you'll be like, why are you not
No,
fucking
I
jealous?"
would just know Tom's not reactive, so he would just be like, "Cool, have a nice time." But he knows I don't agree with platonic friendships.
Yeah.
Apart from this one friend I've got who honestly is totally.
I do, yeah. I think you can be friends with somebody, but somebody will always like that person a little bit more. Like I've had to cut off a couple of guy friendships because you just
See?
like.
You just said you believed in
No, I
platonic.
do because
Well, then
I do
no.
because I can be friends with the guy
Yeah,
and
but
not
he
fancy
can't-
them.
He can't you.
Yeah.
One person will always fancy the other. It's just human nature. It's animals have sex, humans have sex and fancy each other. Whether you fancy a guy, a girl, so it will always happen, trust me.
Yeah.
It will always. You can never have just no, and no work wives and husbands. Absolutely not.
Thank you so much for joining me on this month's show of Getting Lippy. Stay tuned for more showbiz news coming soon.